Well, welcome to Oklahoma, where we're having some pretty unusual weather, nice and wet and windy and cold. Quite a contrast from the rest of our Route 66 trip, which is what brought us to Oklahoma. But today's weather had the added bonus of wedging us indoors today, where we checked out the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. But there's another epic indoor space near Oklahoma City that I try never to miss when I'm coming through town. Just a little bit south of Oklahoma City, in the home of Toby Keith, a little tiny town of Moore, Oklahoma, home to this abandoned school right here, and more importantly, in one of the most anonymous looking neighborhoods you've ever seen, inside one of the most anonymous looking houses you've ever seen, is a true treasure trove of weirdness and wonders. My friend Paul Snyder's Oklahoma Wonderhouse, which is always like Disneyland to me, but is now more like Disneyland than ever. We're back at the Oklahoma Wonderhouse. It's the home of my friends Paul and Kea Snyder. And Paul Snyder is an amazing, fantastic painter, artist, sculptor who spilled over from the regular canvases and can't help but make his whole home a canvas that is never finished. It is sort of a living, breathing work of art, which is why I call it the Oklahoma Wonderhouse. Not only does Paul paint and draw and create life-size statues, sculptures, I don't know what you call them, life-size he's one of those artistic, visionary people where not just his creations, but his interests, his hobbies, his passions, and his collections just start to spill out all over real life. And I could not love it more. Now, I've been here many times since 2019. This is the old Haunted Mansion Theater we've seen before in several other episodes at the Wonderhouse, which, as you can see, is sort of transitioning from Haunted Mansion into sort of Phantom of the Opera classical type theater. And look at what's playing on the screen over here now, showing Randomland. But every time I come back to Oklahoma City, the house is so radically transformed each time that I get lost in it, which is why I've come back here to the screening room just to get my bearings. This is the only room that looks anything like it used to. And before I show you Casa Bonita, the skate shop, the Overflow, the Jurassic Park Visitor Center, the BMX shop, King Tut, or Disneyland hiding behind this curtain, oh, or the doll room, that's very important. We might as well start at the beginning. Hold on a second. Okay, London, that is you. Just making sure you were real. You never know in this place. Right inside the front door is the raddest Star Wars room you've ever seen. Welcome to Oklahoma's Galaxy's Edge. And I was just telling Paul, this room almost perfectly encapsulates the entire thing, because right away I see some of Paul's painting, I see some of his life-size sculptures, but I can see it's mixed with things he's purchased, with things he's found, with things he's collected, things he just thought were interesting and neat, and of course, the epic nostalgia. Look at those Star Wars figures right there. See, look at this. You got the Home Depot Chewbacca animatronic mixed with the off-the-shelf Grogu, but then there's an absolutely stunning custom Leia Organa right here, custom Emperor Palpatine, built by Paul himself. I know Paul did this Han Solo in carbonite right here because I've seen that before. Right above it, he collaborated on this Tauntaun head with another artist named Joel Haas. But the thing is, this is just the head. They've got the rest of the body somewhere. It's like 8 feet tall. Oh my gosh, I wish I had been here. How long ago was that in there?
Like last year, for Halloween.
I just missed a life-size Tauntaun.
It was so big, I was like, oh.
I knew you did a Wampa, but this is not your Wampa. This is from eBay. That's another Home Depot right there. And then some guy made this, so this is Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
I was just saying, it's a perfect mix of everything you're into, because there's the actual nostalgia from your childhood, and then you've got things you like, things you found, things you thought were neat, and then things you created.
That's it.
It spills out everywhere, Paul.
Amalgamation.
Oh, dude, and look at this. This is bucket list piece for me right here. So many things to geek out on in this house, and I'm already stuck on the freaking Imperial shuttle, a.k.a. the shuttle Tidarian. It could be each to a kid growing up in the 80s. There's the freaking Death Star playset. I got one of those, but I never had the box. Dagobah is here. These are all vintage AT-ATs or AT-ATs, whatever you want. Look at the freaking chicken walkers. The Rancor. And I love this. I love the Falcon mounted up on the wall because it is a work of art. Okay, and then look at this. Right next to all of that, you've got the life-size Darth Vader. This is what I like about Paul. This is creativity, because this is just like sort of the Ruby's off-the-shelf costume, but he's mixed it with the EFX super rare, cast off the real thing mask. He's kind of like a magician in that way. There's always like a little sleight of hand. I never know for sure what he's made, what he's mixed, what he's just collected, what he's found. There's so much crammed in here. It is so freaking awesome. Look at all those freaking stormtroopers and droids. Droids for days. I just love this, man. There's so much. Okay, I'm taking up too much time in the Star Wars room because there's so much stuff to see. Every inch of this place is covered with amazing artwork, either by Paul, by his friends, by people he admires. There's autograph stuff in here. Or what about this? A piece of artwork that was at Evel Knievel's wedding in Las Vegas. How? I don't know anybody else that has got 2 custom-made Michael Jackson life-size action figures, basically, in their hallway before you even get to the restroom. Dude, look at this, just off the Beauty and the Beast kitchen. The freaking Predators, the life-size Predators are still here. Paul's wife, Kaya's got a few paintings right here in the living room. And just under the beautiful sunny skies of the living room ceiling, Paul, you are never lonely because he's always got company to tea. Look at that. Wait a minute. Johnny Depp wearing his screen-used secret window costume. We've seen that before. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, we've seen him. I don't remember Hugh Jackman being in your living room before. But wait a minute. Johnny Depp again? Look at that. Right above the grand piano, you've got Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, but you've also got Val Kilmer's Batman, a little Batman Forever action. Dude, nobody gives any love to Batman Forever. Or how about this right here? Chadwick Boseman as the Iron Panther. This is built by Paul out of one of the surviving suits from when his last Oklahoma Wonderhouse that had your full-size Iron Man suits in it went up in a tornado, or I should say went down in a tornado. That's the most magic thing about the Oklahoma Wonderhouse, is that it's actually a house all about rebirth. Paul lost his house 13 years ago tomorrow as I stand here in a tornado, but he and Kaya not only rebuilt, but he's been rebuilding and rebuilding and rearranging and reconstructing ever since. Dude, it's kind of amazing to go from absolute devastation to 13 years later. Not only have you rebuilt your life, you've got your house going and everything, but you have changed it over and over and over again to suit your whimsy. Now, we've been here 2 or 3 times before and seen Paul's entire house before. And honestly, London and I aren't pausing in our tracks here on our Route 66 trip just for Paul's house. Paul and Kaya are our friends, so we wanted to stop by and have a little visit. Not to mention do laundry. And in fact, I was thinking yesterday, maybe we won't even film the house. But then I walk in here and everything is once again so disorientingly different. I feel like this has to be captured, as my friend Adam the Woo would have said, for posterity. And here's the thing, Paul and I met because Paul is a big fan of Disneyland, and so he ran across my videos, 12, 13 years ago. And then he would interact in our Facebook group and stuff like that, and I don't know how I clicked on his profile one day, but once I did, he had posted some pictures from inside of his house, which looked nothing like this back then. I think all of Galaxy's Edge right here was actually a Harry Potter room. But I could immediately see that Paul was not just your average ordinary collector or artist. And I was thinking, first of all, we would get along, and second of all, your house, I need to go to there. Look at that. 1989 Michael Keaton Batman, spotted and noted. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yes, Paul discovered me because of Disneyland. And now look what has happened on our return trip to the Oklahoma Wonderhouse. Here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy, because Paul's newest creation is his own Disneyland. Not very long ago, Paul and I saw each other when he was out hanging out at the real Disneyland, but apparently he didn't get enough time in Walt Disney's original Magic Kingdom because he's transformed his ballroom here into a tribute to the happiest place on earth. I love that plaque. And look at these awnings that denote different sort of sections of the park. Right here, we've got our Pirates of the Caribbean section right through that door, if you please, where some screen-used Pirates of the Caribbean props are next to some very luscious ladies. A little Jack Sparrow action here at the bottoms of the stanchions. I love that there's a Pirates of the Caribbean wait time sign on the door, the Pirates flag up there, a little signed 8x10 of Jack Sparrow, gold doubloons, shrunken heads. That's weird. A screen-used pirate pistol from Adam Savage's personal collection, ship's wheels, some pirate maps, and if we move right along ahead, we get to a little bit of a haunted mansion section where the bats are flying out into the ballroom. There's a couple of
giant Rolex clocks flanking this thing. Then you got the Haunted Mansion plaque over there with the hanging bats down below, another doorway into here. And of course, some improvised bat stanchions. You got the Madame Leota tombstone right there. Haunted Mansion characters. Your own little stretching portrait gallery. And look at this, a Bob Gurr signed Haunted Mansion poster. Because of course, Bob Gurr is the father of the Doom Buggy. And on the right side of the room, I don't know why this is making me laugh so hard, but you just have a sign above this doorway here that just says churros with this M&M guy on it and some Disney-inspired dolls there. Because Kea is big time into dolls, which we will get to. And over here, we've got Selma Hayek peeking out of the order window at the Tiki Bar. So a little bit of an enchanted Tiki Room nod with all the parrots here. We've got plenty of tropical fruit, a little bit of a Dole Whip sign right there. Oh, I like the wait times on here. And then I don't know who did this poster before, but I love those. This is just like the most random recycling of characters. And I love whenever this happens in the Oklahoma Wonderhouse. You never know who's going to pop up where and in what context. Because Paul is a professional artist, right? That's what he does for a living. He's a professional fine artist. I'm sure he's created a couple of life-size props for people as well as jobs, but also he's been a professional musician, an actor. As a matter of fact, he's got his screen-used costumes from the George R.R. Martin Presents Mary Margaret Road Grader, as seen on Netflix a while back. He's got his screen-used costume from that show sitting right out here in the hallway. So anyways, what I was going to say is, yes, he creates art professionally, but we're really not seeing his professional work. We're seeing what he does in his free time when he wants to play. And I was just about to say, what I love about that is that anything goes. You got the Magic Key Disneyland popcorn buckets, couple of the balloon buckets up here, as a matter of fact. And then you have actual used signs from Disneyland. You can have Mary Poppins mixed with fine art, mixed with a Randomland patch peeking out. In fact, hey, I spy the very best hot sauce in the entire planet hiding back here with Stitch. Anything and everything goes as long as you use your imagination. That's exactly what Paul is always doing, and I love this. I love that the middle of the room, in fact, has even become sort of a makeshift hub in front of the castle, right? So you kind of have your trees and your shrubberies. There's Kermit the Frog hiding down there. There's the partner statue, and even a Disneyland duck over here. A couple of benches to sit on just behind the dedication plaque. There, of course, is the Randomland coloring book. Underneath is a photo of our friend Adam LeWoo's portrait that was at his celebration of life, which Paul painted and now hangs up in Adam's parents' house. I will not be choking up today, so let us not dive too deeply into that story. But look at this. In the hub here, look who's hiding out in the bushes. It's Maleficent. That's a very important lesson, kids. Always be careful. Angelina Jolie could be anywhere at any time. Oh, look at that. There's even little country bears hanging out in here. Dude, it's so random and so fun. I love it. I think that's why I'm such a big fan of this place, is because anything goes. It's all about fun. There are no rules at all. It's just whatever pops into Paul's mind, whatever's at hand, all kinds of crazy recycling, like Maleficent over there in the Magnolias. And things could get weird at any moment. And in fact, this is where things get really weird, because I was just going to admire the Alice in Wonderland section with Paul's original painting here when I thought I was disturbing a gentleman reading a book. What the heck? Apparently, this is where the president of Ukraine likes to take his breaks from the war. He reads his own biography to pass the time and cuddles with Big Al to relieve some of the stress. Doing a little bit of relaxing there, Mr. President? Don't be such a stiff. You know what your problem is, sir? Is that you take things a little too seriously. You shouldn't be reading this. There's a much better book over here for you. Try this, sir. Try Tales from Randomland. That'll cure what ails you. Available now on randomland.com. I love this, Paul. There's freaking no rules. So I just saw you at Disneyland, and now here you are. It's like you couldn't get it.
You're my Disneyland.
Yes.
I was at your Disneyland.
But I love how I was just saying, like, you know, if you were creating like a piece of quote unquote professional fine art, or you were doing a commission for someone, it'd be all serious. There'd be so many rules. Yeah. But here there's no rules. Angelina Jolie's head is there. Selma Hayek is selling churros. Yeah. I mean, you've got all this stuff back here. The music room has migrated throughout the house over the years.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just all like a crazy mix. Okay, so what I didn't mention was the sort of half or non-themed Disney stuff. You have a little bit of Oogie Boogie Bash here and some more Disney props. This is actually from Disneyland. Those are Houdini's leg irons. The magic shop is owned by some people who have on and off collected crazy Houdini stuff and put some of his real stuff there for sale. But these were there forever. Nobody ever buys them. You are that nobody. You've done it.
You know the story about those, right?
No.
It was my birthday, so I went over to look at those. I come back across the street. The wife's there looking at watches. And she said, "Did you see them?" I said, "Yeah, I saw them." She said, "How much were they?" I said, $75. She said, "Why are you standing here? Go get them." I go buy them. We go back to my friend's house we're staying with, and they're like, "I don't want to be rude, but can I ask you how much they were?" And I said, "They were $8,100 with tax." And the wife's like, "I thought you said $75.
Oh, no.
I was like, "You get Houdini's leg irons for $75?" That was a fun time.
Okay, so that's some real treasure. That's why it's in the box right there. Ooh, wait a minute. So what you're actually doing is giving pro tip to husbands out there. Just cut off the 100 off the price. It's 75. It's a steal. No, but that's insane, dude. Those are Harry Houdini's actual freaking leg irons, and they were in the window at Disneyland. So in a way, they're also like a park used prop. You know what I mean? You have like the double connection right there. That's freaking fantastic. And then there's a whole collection of ears over here. Here we have a whole bunch of screen used props. This is a Freddy Krueger production used makeup kit. We talked about this last time. And then what was this over here again? This is from the Avengers. It's the Ultron hand. And what's the deal with it?
Well, it's one of the drone hands that Captain America ripped off in the fight scene.
See, that's, oh my gosh, screen used props are in here. The park used Halloween time banner from the early years of the Oogie Boogie Bash. And then we can't even get into all the musical stuff, dude. There's too many connections to too many artists. You filled in with a lot of people. You've known a lot of people. But wait a minute. Don't run away, Paul. He's always trying to run away. He's modest. Come here, Paul, because look at this. Okay, so this right here was Eddie Van Halen's
Guitar power supply case.
Okay.
And
well, the cover, the head cover for his guitar power supply case.
That powered his rig. And he used it for, I think, about 16 years, world tours. Then he sold it to Slash, who used it for another 8 years. And then he sold it to Def Leppard, and they used it until, I think
it says in 2018, and then in 2023, they took it off tour, and by 2026, you've got it.
Yeah.
So this thing has been on tour with Van Halen. It's been on tour with Slash. Yeah, so with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
One of the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah, and then with freaking Def Leppard. And now it's here.
Went all over
in the Oklahoma Wonderhouse. Right next to a picture of Eric Johnson. Oh, there's signed pictures of Tom Petty. There's Johnny Cash up there. There's Toby Keith. There's Michael Jackson and his personally owned corduroy shirt. I'm going to touch it. I'm sorry, Paul. Paul just said I could actually wear the Michael Jackson shirt if I wanted to. First of all, I think I'd rip it. I'm not as slender as Michael. Second of all, I don't have the moves.
baggy shirt.
Paul's got the moves. You got to follow Paul on Instagram. You'll see the moves every once in a while. Dude, that's insane. Some guy in Oklahoma built his own Disneyland.
It's either build Disneyland or go cow tipping.
That's going to be the title of the video, by the way. Some guy in Oklahoma built his own Disneyland.
Dude, that's perfect.
Okay, before we move on to more stuff, by the way, in the hallway here is Tom Cruise right next to the restroom. And dude, if you guys think this house is weird, oh, I wish I could show you the restroom. Right, Tom? Tom knows. We can't fail to neglect the lady of the house's special collection. This is Kaya's doll room. It's always been the doll room. It's changed over the years. Actually, this was the guest room for a while. I'm getting it mixed up with the other doll room,
which is way bigger, but it's a mess.
Okay, the other doll room is a mess. So this is the ancillary doll room. We're allowed access to this one. This is the camera-ready doll room over here, and I've always found Kaya's doll collection very disturbing because she collects these type of dolls. I don't know what they're called, that are very realistic and have some it's like uncanny valley eyes for me, Paul. I don't know what it is about them, but there's cuter stuff always mixed in as well. Lots of Disney stuff and various things. Oh, look at that right there, Mrs. Kennedy. But mostly in this room, you have those ball jointed dolls from Japan they all look like they're staring into my soul or studiously avoiding my gaze, as most women do. But there's one newcomer in here that Paul didn't build, and yet I find just as disturbing as the life-size statues. It's the NECA Megan. She's just... I didn't really find the movie that creepy. I mean, of course, the way she moves and everything, they did a great job. That was a little bit unnerving. But something about the actual NECA figure, something about it's just a little too real. And I even went to Horror Nights. They had all the Megans running around. Those didn't freak me out. That thing, even the way it feels, is still... I don't like it. I'm always trying to appreciate Kaya's collection because Kaya is so nice to us. And she's actually in the other room helping us fold our laundry that we're doing at Paul's house because they're so nice to us. And I always want to appreciate her dolls, but I can't lie to you guys. They terrify me a little. No, not a little. A lot. I'm going to close the door. Oh, Tom, you understand. I know you understand. After all, you've been in the bathroom. Oh, by the way, I never even noticed. This is a screen-worn costume from freaking American Made. Whoa, Tom Cruise. Yeah, I wasn't going to bring it up, but Paul was whispering over here in the background. He's like, he's small. Okay, Paul, you are not the tallest man I've ever met. I'm 6 foot, so you're what? I don't know. 5'5". 5'5", and Tom Cruise's pants are too tiny for you. Yeah. So, Tom Cruise has got some tiny little pants. I don't know what that means. Maybe you guys can figure it out. I don't even know what I just said, but now I feel like I'm going to get a letter from Scientology. No, I don't even like science. All right, if you think the rest of it's been impressive, we're finally moving on from just the living room and the hallway. And now, welcome to Jurassic Park. This is actually the wildest dinosaur of them all. Right here in the visitor center. It's Boba Pet. And he's Boba Pet, letting me pet him. There was something there, but I messed it up. He's letting me Boba Pet him. There we go. I got it. I workshopped it. I got there eventually. I don't know how this happened, but I can easily picture the scene. I can picture Paul either watching the movie Jurassic Park and being like, that banner's cool. I gotta give me one of those banners. And then going, I need some dinosaurs to go with that banner. Or, since one time I came into this room and he had a whole bunch of replicas of real life, like crazy gems and jewels that are in museums, I could picture him just doing a little bit of reading about fossils, about dinosaurs, and going, you know what? I like dinosaurs. Let's go with a little Jurassic Park theme in the other living room for a while. Or I could picture that somehow a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull cast came up on Facebook Marketplace, or someone had one they wanted to trade for one of his pieces of artwork, and he went, yeah, that's a cool theme, and it set off a whole domino effect of passion projects. Now I just have questions. Okay, how did this happen in here? What happened first? How did the wall of dinosaurs begin?
I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning, as I often do, laying there in bed, and I already had this cast of this half skull.
Okay, and that's life size, right?
Life size. It's a young adult named Bucky. But it dawned on me that I have a wall in my house that the whole skeleton would fit on. So I got out of bed, I got a projector, I found a scientific template of the skeleton, projected it on the wall, and started cutting the bones out of foam, and then I started sculpting with clay.
Okay, so this is a pre-existing cast of a real Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I'm currently working on making
this is work in progress. You're building.
So, like, if you see
the rest of the skeleton,
these are like the finished.
Okay, so that's like the finished bones.
Styrofoam. That's
I see. Okay,
cut it all out.
So this is a work in progress. And then from there, you've got to go full Jurassic Park Visitor Center and just keep it going.
Right, and then it just snowballs.
And so this is a cast of the actual smallest Tyrannosaurus Rex ever found. Look at that little chomper right there. So then, how do you get this? How do you get the full size one?
Teenage. Just the scientific model. It's not
well, you could have fooled me. Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, it's still pretty big.
See, you guys, I knew it was something. I knew it was some random thing. Wait, well, so how did you get the first T-Rex thing in the first place? The cast? You just had it and then you woke up?
A friend of mine, Scott Taylor, he owns Taylor-Made Fossils.
Okay.
So I've been doing this. I mean, I had them at the old house,
So it's just random. You just happen to have one in the house at the moment.
Dinosaurs, yeah.
Right, but you just happen to have one in the house at the moment and woke up at 4 in the morning. Wait a minute. I've got a wall big enough for a dinosaur. This is exactly why we're alike. Because, yeah, it's the one little spark of inspiration. It's like Figment. And then it turns into either a whole collection or a whole obsession for a while. Or I have to research everything.
No sense of proportion.
Right. And I have to travel and I have to see it. I know this is only what's left of a whole Egyptian theme you had going for a while.
The front room was all Egypt at one time.
Yeah, you had gems going for a while. Yeah. Gems was like a big thing. And this is an original painting of yours. This really goes in the foyer there. But look at that. Look at that. Scout Trooper eating some Doritos and a big gulp. Wait, Paul, tell him what the title is.
Snack attack.
Snack attack. Snack it when you get snacky on the forest moon of Endor. And then look at this. Look what's been hiding on the wall behind us. It's their freaking BMX shop or the BMX collection. Either way you want to slice it. There are so many epic, vintage BMX bikes over here. I love that they're all super minty, and I love that there's a Garfield right here on the 1987 GT Pro Performer Purple Rain Edition. Now, see, I couldn't afford this sick BMX bikes. I was also only 2 years old in 1985, so I never would have had that one right there. But we were into BMX bikes when I was a kid. In fact, my brother did BMX. He was the one doing all the crazy jumps and doing like, you know, the real thing where he was actually racing and doing all that stuff. I was a little bit more of a wuss. I like to stay on the ground. But this would have been around my time right there. That's 90s, right? Oh, right. I can see it. 1990 GT Pro
like
Performer.
95, so that would have been right in your...
95, the hot pink one, of course. Do you remember, dude, when hot pink like was all the rage? Like it had just come out.
Right, like no one had seen anything like it.
Right, and everyone was losing their mind. You see old guys wearing hot pink shirts. Everybody wanted hot pink. It's hard to imagine them inventing colors now. But I can remember when they literally invented a color like hot pink everything. Yeah, all the day glow. And then neon orange was a big one because I remember I got neon orange shoelaces. Oh, yeah. I just put some neon orange hats in the orange circle, but I don't think anybody likes them. They're a little... Them. What?
When I'm out there, I'm getting one.
Okay, because they're a little construction-y.
No, I like it.
I was like, only construction workers and hunters are going to like these, but they're only $10. They're like...
Or 80s kids. Like
or 80s kids, yeah. You have to like that neon orange or the hot pink or whatever. But what I'm really jealous of that's in here, and by the way, a nice touch with the putting E.T. right there. You got Elliot and E.T. right up there with the 80s BMX bikes. But what I'm really jealous of is this right here. It's Paul Snyder's 1989 Batman head right here. I'm always jealous of it. He's had many iterations of his body. His body keeps changing, I feel like. And for some reason, he's got a gun. What's up? Why does he have a gun?
It's totally not correct. None of it. Except the chest is.
But it was correct for a while. What happened?
No, all those are gone.
See, so you keep making stuff and then you keep unmaking stuff.
Because I made all of the Batmans.
That's right. And then you had a garage sale.
And one person bought them all.
But I told you weren't supposed to get rid of...
That's why I still have this one.
Okay, because I was like...
An accident, so I got to make another one.
Okay, and I can see that. You have a little accidente there. But I always told you that if you ever got rid of Keaton, he was mine.
Right.
But then you... Sure. No, but you sold one.
I sold one.
Oh.
But he's still...
This is the better one. Okay, after you touch him back up a little bit, he'll be the better one. Oh, so his emblem broke off. His original emblem broke off?
Yeah,
all
the way down.
Paul, what happened? Earthquake in Oklahoma? Is it all the fracking? Or?
Yes.
And you got the crow right next door. So you got the two goth buddies of the late 80s and early 90s hanging out together. The ultimate duo. Now, that would have been a team up right there. I'm surprised there isn't a comic book of that. Come here. Yes, Michael Keaton?
Listen, I want you to do me a favor.
Okay.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
Okay. Anything else?
Come here.
Yeah?
I'm Batman.
I know that.
Batman.
I know. Okay, and then by the way, Paul's sprinting. He's sprinting across the BMX shop. He's sprinting across ancient Egypt, which is now down to a sliver and soon will disappear. And look at this, on the way to the screening room where they hang out and watch TV, where you watch the big TV, and where Kaya plays her video games, Paul decided to transform the space for her into Casa Bonita. First of all, I love that the cats have got their own little scratch couches right here so they can be hanging out while she plays video games too. Look at the size of that screen. I mean, that thing is like a couple of alleys wide. And then all around the roof, Casa Bonita. I love the Cartman. There he is right there. Casa Bonita. Do you know I've never been to the real Casa Bonita? It is like one of the few roadside wonders in America I have never been to at all. And I meant to go back in the touring years, right? I meant to go forever and ever. Then there was the South Park episode, and I thought, oh, okay, now it's going to be like all popular. Maybe I'll wait a while. And then Randomland came along. I was like, okay, I'll get there eventually. But then one friend after another was going there and filming. It's like, well, I'll wait my turn. Then they bought it and totally transformed it. Now everybody's gone back out there again to show the new old Casa Bonita. So I'm like, I don't know how long I'm putting it off for. I got to get out to Denver. Anyway, you've done it. You've created your own Casa Bonita now. So other than diving off a cliff or watching cliff divers rather, I feel like I've done it. I feel like I've done it now. And now we can move on to the garage, which is always the most interesting place in the house because it's kind of a catch-all for all the leftovers as well as a themed area. Look at that. That is freaking epic.
With me.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You take this down to the tornado shelter?
There's only a
with
few
you?
things I'll grab, and that's one of them.
Dude, freaking Steve Irwin is like, too soon. Whoa, but then look at this down here.
Yeah,
Is that Spielberg right there?
It's got Spielberg, it's got Attenborough, it's got a couple of people that are dead, I think.
Dude, Richard Attenborough, man.
Yeah.
A legend. Okay, and now we go to the garage. You can already see little catch-all areas just crammed in there. Oh, I'm showing your mess, Paul. But then on the back wall, behold, it's the freaking vintage 1980 skateboard shop of your dreams. Dude, look at that. I love this guy over here wearing the Thrasher Skateboard Magazine t-shirt. And look at all the freaking vintage boards up here. Okay, I see one modern billboard stuck right in the middle right there because it's Casa Bonita. But other than that, look at all the epic freaking vintage boards. Now, are these all actual vintage or are they replicas?
Most of them are repops.
Dude, yeah, plus if you had original vintage ones, they would be scratched up or they'd be faded and they wouldn't pop like this. But I love the way you have it all set up because that is like a vintage skateboarder's dream right there, to walk in and see a wall of all of that. This is so cool. See, this is what I tried to do in my office. I had my old 1989 Batman, like Toy Biz and Kenner collection, and I bought pegboard, right? And I put them all up like it's an 80s or an early 90s toy shop. That's what you want. You want your own. Yeah, you want your own Toys R Us.
Like
you want your own space.
Toy store, yeah.
And I remember when you had your own Starbucks in the house. I remember when this was all a Blockbuster.
That's why it's still yellow and blue.
Yeah, because you and your wife met at a Blockbuster.
That's right.
Dude, but the Blockbuster yellow and blue works perfectly for the backdrop of the skateboards. That makes them pop. But look at this. There's still a little Blockbuster remnant down here. And I love how it's expanded down here to like the tech deck display. You got Lando Calrissian cruising around, Legolas. Freaking Xena the Warrior Princess is popping an ollie over here. Kingpin doesn't look happy, dude. Kingpin can't skate. Hashtag Kingpin can't skate. And look at freaking Mini-Me and Dr. Evil. I don't even know what Jim Carrey's doing. He's doing something. I didn't even notice the other table. Over here in the front, the same thing going on. Everybody's skating in here, man. And look at this. There's a wall of Chuckies down here. I guess I should say a floor of Chuckies. This is far too many Chuckies. This is a little unnerving even for me. And Chucky never really creeped me out. Or at least, you know what? Angry, creepy Chucky never freaked me out. I'll tell you which Chucky always freaked me out. That one. Yep. Just the plain, ordinary good guys. Like in the very beginning when he's just a doll. That's when he's the
smile.
Yeah, that is so much creepier than the scarred up like Chucky 3, whatever. Nah. Oh, dude, you've got so much hiding over here. This is probably like the most famous skull of all time. To at least to a certain generation, like that is iconic right there. And then that's the board that launched like 1,000 punk rock haircuts right there. Even though I'm not sure it was ever meant to be like Liberty Spikes or spiky punk rock hair, but that's sort of what it ended up looking like. Little Sid Vicious type action in there. And look, I love the garbage pail being thrown in there because I feel like it really started with the skateboarders and independent comics in the 80s. That whole kind of art style, that whole aesthetic, that like crazy gnarly pop aesthetic. And then it filtered down to kids, right? And then you had Garbage Pail Kids. You had things like Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. Then you had things like Food Fighters. It just kept going on from there. By the way, look at this. Paul has made his own custom Garbage Pail Kids. This is one called Liz R. He's going into the house to grab a couple more. He made his own Garbage Pail Kids in garbage pails. I've never seen this before, so I assume he made this himself, but I'm Ron Burgundy with George W. Bush. I mean, I guess it was a Bush-era thing. Dude, why is Ron Burgundy cruising with George W. Bush? Just because he can? Oh, there's never any rules. Okay, what's this one?
Fly Fieri.
Fly Fieri, okay.
Strawberry.
Strawberry, all right.
And Chocolati.
Chocolati. How many of these have you made?
I made like a dozen of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you could have just drawn them. You are, in fact, an accomplished illustrator and painter, but you decided, you know what? I'm going to make 3D Garbage Pail Kids, and I'm going to make my own designs. Chocolati right there. Oh, if only all those girls could have seen this back in the heyday of the Cabbage Patch Kids. Okay, and then, of course, we have Gal Gadot out here, who's looking rather fine. She looks like gold, Paul. Here's one of Paul's Iron Man suits over here stashed away into the corner, one that he made by hand. And speaking of ones he made by hand, this is why I call this the catch-all, because usually this is where he puts guys before he filters them out and sells them over here. But he was just telling me that this was another one of the Iron Man suits he had made pre the tornado. And so it was repainted over here. Little custom action for good old Thor. And then, okay, look at this right here. You recognize the costume, but Arnold Schwarzenegger? Man, Conan is a lot taller than the Terminator. Oh, and speaking of the Terminator, look at this. Wait, what's up with these? What's up with the covered ones?
They're about to be shipped out.
They're about to what?
They're about to be shipped out.
Oh, so those
Ohio.
are ones you
those
sold.
Are all sold back there, yeah.
Were they ones that we've already seen in previous installments?
Yeah, there's like Bruce Lee, and I don't know.
He had to cover them up so I wouldn't see him and be like, no, don't sell those. Because that's what always happens. Every time I come in here.
They're all Michael Keaton Batmans.
No! I do feel like every
time. Uncovered, like, I gotta see it.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel like every time I come in here, there's like something that you're like, oh yeah, that one's on its way out. And I'm like, no, you can't do it. It belongs in the Wonderhouse. Look at that. That is creepy. I don't like that. That's what I expect to happen to all of the life-size stuff when I'm roaming around your house.
That's
it's like, no, they all blink. What?
Is making them move.
Yeah, and making them blink when I walk. That's all you really need to do. It's just like, you know how the simple Chucky is actually the scariest Chucky? You just need to make sure that all of them can, like, blink. Ooh. When somebody walks through the house, just right?
Subtle things.
Yeah, just the little things. Like, you don't need to put sound effects in all of them. Just make it so that every once in a while, one of them goes, oh. You know what I mean? That would... Yeah, that would do it. Wait a minute, are these real lizards?
They're real rubber.
Okay, so they're rubber. Okay, you confused me there. Okay, I have to acknowledge this. Look at the freaking Nike mags in there. Those aren't real.
No, they're replicas.
They're replicas?
Yeah.
Okay, you old trickster, you. For a second, I was like, man, you went for Houdini's leg irons. I don't know what you're capable of.
It's like...
If you bought them brand new when they came out, they weren't too bad. But man, nobody got those when they first came out. I got the hoverboard replica down there, which is skateboard ready. That's what I think is cool. That's what I always want to do, is get the skateboard version of it going. And then I always want to do what no artist wants you to do. I always want to snoop around in like all the extras and the hidden weird stuff and like the pile o' heads over here. Oh, Anne Hathaway, no! But the coolest thing in this entire room, and the thing that caught me off guard in the whole house I was not prepared for, is the rarest gem of them all. It's the one, the only, the fabulous baseball diamond from the Great Muppet Caper. Now, it's not the screen-used one, because, of course, the screen-used one was only a replica. They wouldn't have risked the real Lady Holiday's real fabulous baseball diamond. No way. Luckily, Paul is a master replica creator. He created a replica of the real fabulous baseball diamond, went over to England, became a professional jewel thief, and swapped it out for the replica. And that right there is the real fabulous baseball diamond. And no one will ever know.
None of that's true.
Oh, look at this. They caught him red-handed. That's my favorite thing. We're going to catch those thieves red-handed. What color are their hands now? It's Beauregard, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking Beauregard. Anyway, you can see why. Even though I always come through just to hang out with Paul and see Kea, and sometimes to get my laundry done, I've got to stop in and take a tour of the Oklahoma City Wonderhouse. That's not technically in Oklahoma City and not technically on Route 66, but has now become a Route 66 tradition for me. I almost said Art by Paul's Instagram is Art by Paul. Art by Paul's Instagram is Art by Paul, all one word, no spaces, Art by Paul. Go to Art by Paul and see some of Paul's wacky creations. If you follow Paul, you're going to see some interesting, weird stuff. You're going to hear some interesting thoughts every occasion. He's a poet, he's an artist, a dreamer, a creator, a collector. And I was going to say generally nice guy. You're a generally nice guy, but I was going to say a genuinely...
On Tuesdays, I'm really nice.
Yeah, on Tuesdays, he's really nice. And it happens to be Tuesday. Lucky me. Oh, wait a minute. Hold very still. No sudden movements. No, Boba Pet. Boba Pet, just let me Boba Pet you again. He's not sure. See, earlier, I was on the carpet like this, and then I touched his ears, and I shocked him, because I must have been dragging my feet, and now he's not sure. He's circling the friendship. We're coming in for a landing. We're coming in for a landing. Yes, Boba. He's almost down. Go down. Go down. Come on. Boba Pet. We're almost friends. We're almost friends. All right, well, we chatted and we talked and we dished and we gossiped and we chewed the fat for a long time, but all good things must come to an end. And as you can see, the sun has gone down, and London and I have to be moving along in the morning up towards Tulsa, up towards Kansas and Missouri, and hopefully up towards Chicago, although I do have a hard out pretty soon, and the weather is getting grimmer across the Midwest. So we'll see what happens on this 100th anniversary trip up Route 66. We'll see as far as we get. There's still plenty of reason for optimism, but you never know. You never know what could happen on the old mother road, the main street of America. As for now, though, you know exactly what's happening, my friends. If you want to support the show, you can go to randomland.com. It'll show you all the links to our merch store, to our Patreon, and don't forget, you could just share this video with a friend you think would like it. That would also help. Me and the boy have seen museums. We've seen Wonderhouses. We've had conversations with cowboys and friends and Star Wars characters. We are cooked. We've done our duty for now. We've got to go home. No, not go home, not yet. But we're going to hotel and sleep well. Check out the links down below. Thank you for watching all the way to the very end. We love you very much. Well, at least I do. I don't know about him. He hasn't made up his mind yet, so treat him nice. Go home, sleep well. See you next time. You can have Mary Popkins? Wait, give me a little riff. Do something impressive. Wait a minute. Copyright. Copyright. That's copyright. Oh my gosh, we were so close to being demonetized.